All right. Hello. Welcome. My name is Aisha Melina, and today I wanted to share a full class with you. Nothing too crazy spicy, lots of just really yummy movement, a little bit of strength, lots of stretching, and just honestly one of those classes that I usually want in between all of the other crazy stuff that I do. So I hope you enjoy it. For it, you will need 2 blocks. So let's get started. Let's just get started in a seat. I'm going to use my blocks already here for a little bit of support underneath my knees. You get to choose however you want to keep your hands. They can be palms facing up. Generally, we like to say that that's in you can choose palms face up. Generally speaking, we like to say that that's more energetic or more of a sharing energy with your surroundings. And then palms face down will be a little bit more just an internal sensation. So you choose. I'm going to go palms up. Thumb and index finger together is going to increase your focus. Brahma Mudra. Close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. And even though your spine is upright, allow it to also be just easy. Begin to just observe your natural breathing. No rush. Once you have an idea of how your breath feels today in its natural state, do begin to gradually breathe a little longer, a little wider. A little bit more, 360 degrees all the way around. Continue to observe your breath while efforting your breath. And see to it so that your inhales and exhales are just about equal. We're going to start moving here shortly, and you may move with your breath or not. I'll cue it with the breath. You just do what feels good for you. You can keep your eyes closed. It's pretty easy movement. You can also peek through some soft eyelids to just check out what's happening. But on your exhale, you're just going to tilt the head forward in space. So you're just kind of moving the head and the neck. And then when you're ready on your inhale, you'll move the head back up, start pointing the nose to the sky, and letting the head move back in space. So for each exhale, you can move forward. And then, no rush, in your own rhythm, your inhales will take you back. So you're just sort of making a big yes with your head. We're just going to be here for a few more breaths. Now, I know many of you might already want to move the head all the way around in a different position, and just, it's coming. We're just really practicing our patience here, turning our focus into just this one movement, flexion and extension of the cervical spine. And then absolutely no rush. We'll meet with the head in the middle. So regular head up. And then we'll start moving side to side. So go ahead and take your nose and just point it over one shoulder. So it's like a little mini twist just through the throat and neck. And then come back through center and twist it to the other side. And if you want here again, you can follow your breath, but you don't have to. Traditionally, I would inhale through center and exhale as you twist, but really you can totally play around with it. Just keep breathing nice and deep. Few more side to side. And you can continue to observe. Sometimes I observe that I end up flexing a little bit in my twists. Nothing wrong with that. It's just something to observe. And then absolutely no rush. We'll come back through center one more time, and then our next movement is tilting the ear to the shoulder. So I'm going to prepare, or ask you to prepare with a big breath in. And then exhale, tilt. On your breath, on your inhale, come back through center. And then exhale to the other side. Keep going. Maybe I get to share a little something here. So I live in an area where there's just constant renovating. Both my downstairs neighbors as well as my next door neighbor, as well as the whole basically building next to me. So maybe it's coming through the sound here. I'm not sure, but if it does, just serve a reminder that we can't necessarily control our outside environment. We can just really control how we react to it. through that, have some sort of control over our internal environment. Fun. Just a few more side to side here. And just like maybe you noticed when you were in your twisting phase, is there anything else happening that's not a pure side stretch here? So definitely scale back any judgment that you might have. It's super common. I'd say probably most people tilt their chin a little bit towards their chest for a little flexion as they move here side to side. So just something to be curious about. A lot of people also twist a little bit in their side bends. And then we'll meet in center, no rush. And now, for those of you who have been so patient, yes, you are going to get your head rolls. Tilt that head forward. And then in any direction, just move your head around. And if you don't want to move around in a full circle for any reason, then consider just finding a little slice, maybe a half moon or whatever, anything that feels good. And that's just it. I think sometimes we expect the head to roll as if it's on a ball and socket joint here, and that's just not the case. So if you need to pick your head up a little bit or shrug your shoulders, sometimes can really alleviate the crunchy sensations, then just allow it. Move nice and mindful and sweet. You got about 3 or 4 more breaths in this direction. Keep going. Just about 1 or so more. And then again, absolutely no rush, but I suggest the next time you're forward in space to change direction. And if you're not an avid sitter, just know that we're coming up on the end of this. We will take care of that stagnant energy that's been building belly button down. Let's just maybe circle approximately 3 or so more times in this direction. I think that was just about 3. And then probably from when the head is tilting forward again, just to be a little extra mindful, we'll lift it back up. Beautiful. And let's come straight into a cat-cow. So I'm gonna start off with my blocks already. I can certainly reach the ground here, but I just like the novel sensation of being a little higher up. So Mayurasana, inhale and just scoop that belly button towards the floor. Exhale, round your back. You can definitely just breathe too. And maybe since we spent so much time moving the head already, keep a little extra awareness there. How is it flowing with the rest of the spine? Just a few more deep breaths here. Where is your awareness going? What are you noticing about yourself when you're up on these blocks? I'm not trying to tease out any sort of anatomical correctness. I'm just asking you what you're learning about yourself. And then stay on those blocks. I have mine the skinny way, and it didn't really matter before, but it's going to matter now because I'm going to use them in what I call walk mode, which is being able to grab the edge of the block. And then Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog here. Just any movement or stillness that suits you is great. And if you're looking at me, then you're kind of seeing what a lot of teachers don't want me to do. I'm just kind of keeping my mouth away from the microphone. You don't have to hear me breathe too much. But sometimes it just feels good to not be crunching in the neck here, but to rather look at the toes. And then let's just walk the hands and feet together. Really do allow yourself to relax in the head here. Allow your hands to be heavy on the blocks. You can even grab ragdoll if you want to. Opposite elbows. Ain't nothing wrong with a little sway side to side. And then before we find any flow or anything like that, we're just going to heel toe our feet a little further apart. We're going to come into Malasana. I'm stacking both my blocks for a nice height to sit on. You can choose any height or none if you'd like to. Sitting down, just finding a nice wide and deep squat here. And then maybe pressing your elbows into the knees for a little extra sensation here. Let's take about 5 deep breaths. And at the end of your next exhale, go ahead and pop off those blocks, grab them again with your hands, and set up for that downward facing dog where we were just at. Good. Let's find a 3-legged dog. We can go left leg up first, left leg into the sky. Go ahead and bend the knee and open the hip for that scorpion tail. Let's take a couple of circles here. So just drawing a big circle with the knee. Change direction of your circle. And then step your left foot in between the blocks. And find a twisted lunge here. So you're going to sink into your right hand. You're going to take your left hand up to the sky. If you want little arm circles here, you're welcome to take them. Maybe 2 or 3 in one direction before you change. And then let's come into Skandasana from here. So you're just going to pivot. The right heel comes down at a 45-degree angle, and then you walk your blocks towards the right and towards your right foot. Go ahead and start sitting down, squatting in the right leg. The left leg stays nice and straight. And then we have these fancy blocks here, so you can always keep prepping yourself downwards. I love putting a block underneath my Skandasana extended leg. And just get like a little extra stretch by pressing into the block. A little extra stretch by pulling the toes towards your face. And if you want, you can find a little bit of a back bend here. Good. I'm going to relax the block, relax the leg, remove the block, and then find a couple of circles here with the left ankle. A few in that direction and changing, and a few in the other direction. Good. Let's just walk our hands back into that lunge where we were, where we sat up front, and then step back into a plank. Hold your plank here. If you want to go through a flow, you can. If you want to come straight into a downward facing dog, you can. Good. We are meeting in a downward facing dog, so just booty up, booty up, booty up, booty up. Good. And let's take that right leg up into the sky. We'll do the same thing. Bend the knee, open the hip, and then find those sweet big circles here. Eventually, you'll change direction. And then eventually, you'll square up that hip. You'll step the right foot in between blocks. And we'll find our twist. Left hand down, right hand up. That block can come with you if you want. Maybe you take those arm circles. Sort of forgot about them. 2 or 3 in each direction. And then we'll find our Skandasana again. So no rush. You're going to take that right hand towards the left foot. You're going to pivot the left foot down and out. You're going to bend in the back left leg. And now your right leg is sticking out in the Skandasana. Totally play around here. We're here for a little while. You got that set up with a block if you want it. Not mandatory. But it's really fun to sort of just bring your activity down into the block and then really flex that ankle and maybe finding a little back bend, a little opening here. Right, let's find our ankle rolls. I'm removing the block just because it gives me a little more mobility. Couple in one direction and then change. We're going to meet in that lunge towards the front of the mat again, whatever is your front foot. Good. And we'll just step back into a plank. You're on your blocks. Again, you can just hold this plank here. You can take a flow. You can even take some negative push-ups if you're feeling really strong, but don't just go into it. We haven't really warmed up for it. We are going to find an upward facing dog here, or upward facing dog variation. You can start by lowering the knees. Yes, it's totally okay to be on the block unless you know that it doesn't feel good for your back to be in nice uplifted extended back bend. Good. You bend as much in your neck as you want to. Let's take about one more deep breath here. Good. And then just pop your booty back. We'll come into a child's pose. Knees together if you want. And we're going to stay on our block. We're going to find this extra sweet little stretch. Gets our shoulder blades extra close together when we stay on the block, so you can dip your ears past your arms. And then you can even traction your hands down into the blocks as well as towards you. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Walk those blocks towards you. And then we're going to set up with our toes tucked. So I just slightly shifted position here for you to see me, but you can stay right where you are. And if it's already really stretchy to be here, some of you are athletes, then stay here. But if you want more, you can put your body weight onto the toes by sitting onto the heels. And I'm not even going to guide anything with your hands. If you want it, take it. You can simply just focus on your toes here if you'd like. So again, your spine is sort of upright but easy. There's so much weight onto those toes. See if you can still breathe nice and deep. Notice if you're doing anything, bracing anywhere in the body to make it happen. And if you are, totally feel free to come out of it for a moment. Maybe even readjust the feet and coming back into it. You get about 5 more breaths. So in and out as much as you need. Breathing deep, staying with it. Go ahead and come out of your toe tuck. You can come back into your tabletop quadruped position. And give yourself a little tap tap. Good. Let's just set the blocks, or I'm setting the blocks aside so that you can see my hands. You can stay right where you are. You're going to take your left hand, flip it upside down, and then take a couple little circles around your wrist here. Change direction of the circle. It's like your whole body is just moving over your wrists. It's not that serious. You're probably getting some sort of sensations either way. But shake that hand out. And then let's switch hands. Bring your weight around your wrist. In both directions, so change. Good. Shake it out. And then let's come back into our downward facing dog on our blocks. We're going to take the left leg again up into the sky. Reach through your toes. Play around with your weight here. See what happens if you back it up. See what happens if you move it forward. Maybe a little side to side. As if you know, there isn't a textbook rule that says what's going to work for you today. Play around with it. Maybe you want to take the hip a little up and down. Another couple of breaths here. Just sort of allowing the body to play around in three-legged dog. And we'll meet in our lunge. So lunge forward with the left foot. And then let's find one Anjaneyasana here. You can either leave the blocks or you can take them with you. Arms up into the sky. One warrior two. Maybe you get there on an exhale or just breathe. Got one reverse warrior. And one extended side angle. So for those of you who are bringing the block with you, allow it to be a little bit playful. And then sort of also observe of where you appreciate that block being right in your hand, ready to go. Ready to reach and push. Good. Let's find a reverse triangle. So straighten that front foot, front leg. And then your left hand up into the sky. And then find your triangle pose. My hip just sort of locked up, so I gotta wiggle before I move into it. Whee. Back to your regular programming and breathe. Similar to how we played around in our three-legged dog, play around here. Maybe sway your weight a little side to side. Beautiful. And then rebend in your front knee, pivot that back foot again, so that heel and toe are 12 and 6. And then let's step back into our plank. You can hold your plank. You can go through a flow. You can do whatever you need to do here. And we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Let's find that long, playful three-legged dog on the right-hand side. So I'm not going to talk too much through this. You've got about 5 to 7 breaths. Play around. No rush. We'll meet in our lunge. You're welcome to take the blocks with you. Anjanasana, arms up into the sky. Next up is a warrior 2. Keep breathing. Keep enjoying whatever it is you're doing. Enjoyment out of curiosity, enjoyment out of just what feels sweet, enjoyment out of what feels like a challenge. You do you. And we'll find our reverse warrior with those same cues. Extended side angle, Theta Parasvakonasana. Nice and easy. Reverse triangle, straighten that front leg. And then triangle pose. Rebend that front leg. We're going to step back into our plank. Last plank here, hold it. Or do your thing. Good. On this one, we'll also find a little upward facing dog variation or cobra variation. Your choice if you want to stay on the blocks or come off them. And then one more, child's pose. Your choice. Maybe you take your hands behind you. Your head can come onto the block. If your hands are behind you, consider just allowing your shoulders to melt apart from each other. And then just a few more relaxing poses before we wrap up. So we're going to come into an Ekapada Kapotasana here, one-legged pigeon. I'm going to go left leg first, and you can literally just put your left leg forward. But if you like a nice little flow into it, then go for it. All good. I'm going to set one block underneath the hip, It's usually how I start my pigeon, and one underneath the forehead. However you organize yourself is just fine with me. We're here for a few more breaths, so if you started propped and you want to just sense it a little bit more, then maybe come off your props. Nice and easy. Come out of your pigeon pose on the left. A little wiggle of choice. You can even take a little flow here. Maybe pause if you do. And then we'll meet with our right leg forward. I'm going to offer you to come deeper, lower, topless. And whether you're pausing here or maybe hit the pause on the recording for a little flow later on, do come back. We're just wrapping things up. I've got a brief little back bend for you, supported Setu-Bandhasana bridge pose, and then we'll lay down for a proper Shavasana. So anyway, you want to come out of this and reset with some sweet movements before we lay down. So I'm guiding it Shavasana for this one. You can take those blocks underneath your knees if you'd like. And I'm going to remain seated just for the purpose of having a voice. But I'll let you have about 3-4 minutes of just laying down, and then I'm going to guide you out of it as well. So get comfortable. Get those last wiggles out. It can be really nice to sort of lift up the shoulders and put them back down. Shift the hips a little side to side. Iron out any crinkles. And then really fully allow your body to both become easy and heavy. Maybe you can even sense this duality of sinking and floating at the same time. Fully, even if it's for just a moment, do nothing, surrender, Shavasana. gently begin to become aware of your breath and your breathing. Allowing your breath to become, again, gradually a little deeper, a little longer. A little more awake and alive. And just notice that connection, how your breath becoming more awake awakens your body. When you're ready to start to move and wiggle and maybe even squeeze some muscles and then release them again, begin that process of fully waking up the body. Take your time, no rush, and just any way you like in the next minute or so, meet me in a seat with your hands at the heart. Again, no rush, but once you are finding yourself in a seat, maybe in this gesture, this mudra of gratitude, just begin to observe yourself. What can you notice about your internal environment? Very, very good. Rub your palms together. And take your hands to cup your face. When you're ready, release the hands. Softly flick open the eyes and come back. Hari Om, Om Shanti, Namaste. Thank you. Let's do it again sometime.